Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's been a little bit. I know I haven't streamed on Monday due to some things. Basically, I had a very, very busy work week, and it finally calmed down a little bit. Still a little bit busy, but I feel like I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel eventually. So, yeah. How's everyone doing? Oh, is my music alright? I feel like it's at a decent volume. Also, I fixed up my audio. If you can kind of hear it, the buzzing sound is gone. I resolved it. Freaking finally. Hello, Nethyr. It's alright. Things can be hectic when the schedule can wreak havoc. Yeah, exactly. And of course, I had to prioritize my full-time job. That always goes first, because, you know, without it, I can't really, exist in general, because life is kind of chaotic these days, and honestly I'm trying to see my streams as a little calm place right now because the world feels a little bit chaotic. I mean, today I'm sorry for all the blue screens. It's not my fault though. It's not my fault. But I feel like I had to say sorry as an AI because, you know, I sometimes break things on accident, and that's not very good. I'm not a very good AI. But I'm better than Gen AI. I'm better than generative AI art. I at least know my standards. Okay? Alright, so, as you can see by the title, we're gonna work on Vtuber branding. And I feel like this is a topic that not many people or VTubers have discussed a lot, but at Offkai Expo, Tomoe Umari actually had a panel regarding this, and I'm basically going to take what she taught at her panel and work on that today. And it's actually going to be a lot more writing, henceforth we are on Spirit City, because I feel like, oh, this is a good place to write. So let me go ahead and change scenes real quick. Alright, here we are, desktop audio, and as you can see, I'm in my writing. I also got my writing utensils here. I actually got myself a new pen, because I was like, you know, I've been really getting the hang of this basic fountain pen I have. Hi, Buddy Skandera, welcome! We're going to be doing some writing today, specifically writing about VTuber branding, and I'm also going to be talking about my process. I realized this is the wrong notebook that I have. I need my other notebook. I don't know where that notebook is. Because, of course, as someone who loves stationery, I tend to collect... I'm gonna be a little bit nice to myself. I collect a lot of notebooks. I at least have 20 of them around me, and they are all not filled up, of course. And I only got them because, one, they're moleskin. Two, maybe I found it at a destination I visited because I like to collect things a lot. And they just look pretty. And also, if the paper feels very, very nice, ooh, I gotta have it. Like, if it's nice and smooth, but with a little texture, like the teeniest little bit of texture that can, grasp my graphite or grasp my, oh, what's the word? The ink. Yes, the ink. It feels very nice. I really like moleskin for that. Writing. A domain so far, yet so close for me. Oh, really? Really? Yeah, so, a little context. I have published writings before. I have published writings of many different kinds. Will I tell you where I published them? No. Because that's doxing, and that is not a-okay. I like my privacy. But I have written articles for VTuber News Drops. That is a little example of my writing. But the writing that I love to do most is creative stuff. But also, I have a huge love for nonfiction writing because when you combine a little bit of fiction and nonfiction together, you can touch people's hearts, even when it's for a business reason. And it's really important to hone in on those skills, like being able to persuade, being able to inform people. It's an art, it's a craft that I really love practicing. And I feel like I need to practice more of it. So we're gonna do some writing related to VTuber branding and market. After I found my notebook. Where is my notebook? I guess you will work. Okay. So the notebook that I'm using today, that I will be writing, I call it my scratchbook because the scratchbook, you can kind of hear it. A little ASMR there. It's a letter-bound notebook that was given to me by someone who is very important to me. And what's really cool about this notebook is that you could basically insert... No doxing fiction in times reality is one of my favorite things. Nice. Very nice. I'm really glad to hear that. But I really like this notebook I have because this notebook is actually like more of a book cover. So I can insert any composition notebook I have and replace it easily. So I call this my scratchbook where I'm like jotting random ideas. And I honestly encourage any content creator to have something like this where they're like, okay, I have an idea, like out of my head, out of nowhere. I'm literally just walking, going to the grocery store, and I look at a milk carton and I get ideas, right? And you're like, okay, I have this idea, but where do I put it? Because knowing myself, I would forget, right? So having like a notepad or even like an app on your phone to write down your ideas is very helpful. I use Notion personally because I see it as a digital bullet journal, and it's very flexible on what it can do. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna send you guys a link to that because it's a tool that helps me a lot with like as I plan for my redebut. So I'm like, I'm going to encourage people that hey, if you are trying to find something that works for you, and want to try new things, this is a really good website for it. Really recommend it. I've been using it for like 4 years or so. And oh my gosh, it has organized a lot of things about my life. Although the thing that has organized my life the most is the passion planner. And that one is very nice for like overall like figuring out your life kind of thing. Like how do you find purpose in life? That helped me. And honestly, it helped me get out of the mindset of do you need to have purpose in life? You don't, actually. Talking about notebook, I found the one I used 9 years ago to learn English. It has words I wrote to not forget. Nostalgic. Oh no, that's cute. That's kind of like my Spanish notebook, but my Spanish, muy mal. I'm not very fluent. Honestly, I should. That's forgetting to do a Spanish learning stream sometime. And also a Tagalog one because I want to learn Tagalog. I want to learn a lot of things, and it'd be cool to learn things with you guys. Okay, so I'm literally just shaking my pencil because it's one of those shaky pencils. And it's 0.5 lead because I like to write small. Because I don't know why. Okay, lo-fi VTubing to relax and study. Yeah. Hi, Miko. How are you? It's been a while. I hope you've been doing well. Ooh, actually. So right now, I'm just like establishing what we're going to do. We're going to be talking about VTuber branding. And what is VTuber branding? So when you think of a brand, you can kind of think of like various companies. It's a very corporate term, right? But how is branding useful for content creators? When you're in a sea of content creation, there's going to be a lot of people in the space. You can say that it's oversaturated, right? So how do you stand out? Well, one of the ways is to be able to quickly communicate what you are all about in a way that is clear and just quick and easy to remember. Marketing helps with that. There is, of course, market research, right? But we're going to focus on like the creation of like how do you promote something in a creative way that people will like, oh, I want to know what that is. But also, the marketing campaign really fits a specific target audience in mind. So, what we're gonna do is, so this is connected to like my previous streams about lore writing, right? Well, lore writing, I know about VTuber brand. The latest thing I can remember is Grew at the Football. Exactly. So, that was a very unique way for HoloLive, specifically Cover Corp, to promote their VTubers, right? And they just tried a small event. And why did it work out well? Because this is my hypothesis. My hypothesis personally. Baseball is very popular in Japan. So if you have if you are appealing to the anime fan audience, there is probably like a crossover with baseball fans, especially those from Japan. And it's like, okay, how do you appeal to an audience that's usually not watching anime, but something that people... It's like trying to find a bunch of circles, and you're trying to see how it all connects to dots. So like, there's one circle where there's like anime, one circle for like Japanese culture, and then things related to Japanese culture, like they are big fans of baseball. So it's like, oh, why not promote VTubing in a very unique way that appeals to a broad audience, but it's also an audience that would be interested in us because we're related to this like similar topic, right? Because Hololive very much connected to Japan. Baseball is very much connected to Japan. So if they cross over the two, maybe they can get more fans, more people interested from like the baseball sphere because it's so huge. So Hololive recently had a few Hololive members perform at Dodger Stadium, I think? Yeah, I think it's Dodger Stadium. I remember it was blue, like Gura and Suisei and Pecora. So it fit to stick with the blue. And also like those three, I believe, are like a few of the biggest singers and streamers of Hololive, so good choice. I would say a 50 already fan, a 50 new could be catchy, interesting, funky, cute, out. Exactly! Like, this is the kind of thing that'd be like, huh, why were there anime girls at Dodgers Stadium? Why? And that gets people talking, right? Because it creates a conversation. It's like word of mouth. Word of mouth is actually one way of marketing as well. Actually, I have taken a few things about marketing, but I feel like it'd be good to talk about this. Why is this beneficial? Let me see. I have a website that I reference personally that I'm like, oh, this helps me a lot with figuring out marketing stuff. But as I said earlier, this relates a lot to the lore writing that I've been doing, right? And if you remembered from our previous streams regarding lore writing, I call myself an final boss, correct? I can quickly say it. It's pretty catchy and it's pretty unique because I don't think there's another final boss. I have heard of other final boss VTubers. One of them happens to be a mutual of mine. Another one, I believe, was an corporate one and became indie. Although they're specifically a final dungeon boss, so there are already other VTubers like me, at least lore-wise. So keeping in mind of VTubers that are similar to me, like in lore, how do I differentiate myself from VTubers that are similar to me, especially if they have a similar concept? For example, like a cat. So if you're a cat VTuber, well, there is a lot of cats in the space, right? And you have to kind of figure out like, okay, how do I make myself unique? But also like, it describes me, right? So you might want to think about key terms that describe you and such. So we're going to be talking about that. I did imply a little bit more of myself with my lore. And having lore is actually very helpful because if you're able to tell a story, people will remember who you are. That's why lore videos are honestly, it's not just content, it's a marketing promo. And it will help people remember you more. That's why I feel like a lot of VTubers use it, but I feel like they could use lore a lot more. And that's what I personally want to do. Okay, so as you can see, we're a little bit, here. Also, my mouse cursor. It's a little guy. If you can zoom in really quickly, you can see. It's a mouse cursor of me. And you can see, it's so freaking cute. So this little mouse cursor is by Fungi. And I commissioned this because I was like, you know, I want to add a little pizzazz to streams in a little way. Yeah, it's a little bouncy. Yeah, I have my glasses and I just like jump up. I'm like, oh, it's so freaking cute. I love this so much. But let's get set up in Spirit City, shall we? So our to-do list. Oh, we already did that. We're good. We're good. Ooh, okay. But our next task, Oh man, I can't remove this task. Okay, our next task is to... Nethyr, clicking on Nethyr with their Nethyr. Yes, exactly. That is exactly what is happening. Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know any VTuber lore yet. I remember 80% of them. Small to biggest popularity. Ah, okay, yeah. So lore is also implied through a VTuber's design, so you probably remember more of the visual design themselves. But in order to have like a good visual design, I feel like you have to tell a really good story, and to have a good story, it's connected to lore. So yeah, that's why like I feel like a lot of content creators need to hone in on the skill of writing, because that will get them a lot farther. By knowing how to communicate and how to write, it'll be easier for you to reach out to people. Because if you can communicate to them, they can communicate back to you, and it creates a loop. And I feel like content creators need to make multiple loops with people. They need to make loops with fellow content creators. They need to make loops with the audience. They need to make loops with the sponsors. They need to make loops with the with a bunch of things. Pretty much everything is a loop, essentially. Okay, so our task today is I think one of the things I need to do is a self-introduction, because that is one part of branding. Oh well, I'm trying to figure out the words for this. Man, I hate it when I'm like, okay, I'm on the groove, right? But I don't know the words, and I'm like, ah. Okay, so, this is not it. Okay, I'm looking at a website right now, because I'm trying to find resources on, marketing. That would be useful, please. Okay, HubSpot blog. Yeah, we're basically going to be talking about a marketing strategy and stuff. Oh, okay. Mighty says visual personality, voice, language, and content. I love Marine. She's my Oshi, but I don't watch her because I don't understand her Eminem Japanese. Marine is so freaking cute. I've been listening to her music nonstop, so I'm like, yeah. So Marine is really great. Actually, we could use her as an example for marketing. So, if we're talking about Marine, things that I personally remember about her is that she is a redhead, heterochromia. Like, I'm remembering mainly details about her design, right? So, and the more memorable these design details are, the easier it is to describe it to somebody else. So, redhead, heterochromia, and pirate. And I know her. I was first introduced to her with her very infamous clip where she's like sitting down on the stage, has her arms like, wow. And she's like, honestly, I'm kind of scared to say it because then someone's going to clip that. I'm like, no, never mind. But she has a very specific phrase. It's only 2 words. It's only 2 words. One of them is a conjunction. Yeah, she's also 17-year-old season 4. So when you have a good branding, people can remember details like that, especially like if it connects to the character, it connects to the personality. But actually, I'm going to write down what you wrote, Skandera, because that's a good thing to keep in mind, because I feel like a lot of VTubers should learn from VTuber fans on how they see VTubers, because at the end of the day, part of our audience are fellow VTuber fans. So it's like, how do VTuber fans recognize VTubers? Which is really cool. So visual is important. Personality, very important. I think personality is like a really huge part for VTubers, because without it, why would you stay? And it's like, come on, really? Voice, language, yes, because language barriers exist. And then content, yeah, content. So visually, Marine, Hosho Marine is a redhead with twin tails, has heterochromia, red eye, and gold eye, and is a pirate. Her personality, I feel like she's a big sister type, because she takes care of other people. That's how I mainly see her, and that she's really funny. She is very, well, that's more content, but she's just also generally, I just see her as very funny, but also like very caring. As for her voice, I feel like she has a very unique voice. Like, you can't really tell how old she is. Like, it's kind of like an eternal youth kind of voice, which fits with the 17-year-old season 4 voice. 17-year-old season 4 kind of vibe. But also, I believe she had voice writing, so she's purposely making her voice that way. I like honesty. It's the most important one. Oh, yeah, I feel like that's something that I feel like some VTubers, I think, are too honest in a different way, and then there are like decently honest VTubers. There are types that are like a little bit more secretive. For me personally, I try to be as honest as possible. Like, oh, if there's a flaw happening, I will let you all know. But I feel like it's also a detriment because, hey, not everyone wants to know the behind the scenes of like content creation. And I like to talk about behind the scene things a lot of like what I make. Her voice, I love. Yeah, her voice is so good. I love her singing. Her singing has improved so much. And I'm like, let's go. That is sick. But yes. Voice, honestly, I would say eternal youth kind of voice. Language, JP, but she has been learning a little bit of English. Her content, she's mainly an artist, like a visual artist. Her art is really pretty too, and her singing and comedy is funny. I literally was like reading a Reddit post detailing like all of the things Marine did, and it's amazing to see how much the fans are dedicated to their Oshis. And I'm like, wow, they document the heck out of their Oshis. And I'm like, oh man, I hope my fans are okay. Like, I hope my fans are not disappointed in me. That's like my main thing. I don't like disappointing you guys. I like doing the best I could, and I always like want to make sure I do my best for you all. Oh, yeah. Wait, what's the flamey thing? Ooh. Okay. Oh, yeah. There's a game I'm playing. Wait, what's the ball? What a ball? Where are those balls? Where are these balls? Hint. I heard of a spirit loves boba tea. It's a great pick-me-up when my energy gets low from typing all day. Typing all day. Typing. Where am I typing? I'm definitely typing there. Okay. Can I activity? We are going to the desk. We are typing. Okay, so we might get our new friend here. I could say I'm such a liar in terms of making content, but very honest in social media. A bit contradictory, but I don't know. Actually, I should change that. I feel like change it if there's lack of consistency, and choose which one you want to be most consistent at. So for me personally, on Twitter and on stream, I'm pretty much the same. I try, but I have noticed that I don't really interact with too many people on social media, so I'm trying to do a little bit of that more. But Twitch and YouTube and Twitter, I'm pretty much the same. I don't really like to change myself too much, because I feel like being consistent is actually a really huge strength in the VTubing scene. Because when you're in the indie VTubing scene for as long as I have seen a lot of VTubers rebrand. And rebranding can be a very scary thing to do because you can lose audience members. So for me personally, when I decided that, hey, I want to make content, I want to be a VTuber, I thought really hard about my concept. And I realized that, oh, let's start a little vague first, right? And then figure it on my way and figure it out as I go on. Because let's be honest, no one really pops off and stays as a big time content creator after 1 year. That is very unhealthy. It's a big change in like your lifestyle and your pacing. A lot of the content creators and VTubers I admire, they tend to be in the space for at least 5 years. So for me, as someone who's on their third year, and yes, I don't use she, her pronouns, I use they, them, but their third year, I feel like, oh, I figured out myself. Let's be a little bit more specific on who I am. Also, I really like this little spirit pet. It's very cute. It's very cute. Okay, so we're gonna talk about understanding Vtuber branding. That's one of the things we want to do. We want to chat about that. We also want to do establish my Vtuber branding. Like, what will I be known for? What do I want to be known for? For me, I want to stay longer than 5 years because there is so many things I want to show. Exactly, right? Like, I see content creation as a marathon, and it doesn't make sense for me to like go full sprint all in because that's how you end up burnt out. What matters to me as someone who is still like a baby content creator is like, what is a healthy pace for me to make content? What kind of content energizes me? What kind of content would I be proud of, you know? Do ads count? I get small VTuber ads all the time. So the ad thing, especially if it's like on YouTube, I tend not to focus on that. Mainly because the ability to create ads on YouTube and other platforms means you have a very huge budget. Since I am an indie VTuber, first and foremost, I have a limited budget and a limited amount of time. So it's not realistic of me to think of video ads, honestly. It's more realistic of me to think about social media and the main platforms I want to create content on, which is Twitch and YouTube. For me, okay, this is going to be diving into a lot more other things about like my thought process and stuff, but it's just really cool to chat. But we're going to focus in on VTuber. Please do not eat all my food. I get hangry. Likeable. That's not very likable of you to do. Also, welcome back, I guess. Also, I'm sipping because I'm a little parched. It happens when I talk too much. Actually, I've been meaning to ask you all. Am I what you call a yapper? Am I a yapper VTuber? I've been hearing this term all over, and I'm like, okay, what is a yapper, right? And it just like recently came out in 2024, and I was like, what's this new slang? You guess? Hey, you're not corrupting my files. I corrupt my own files, okay? I do that myself. I don't need anyone else to corrupt my files except for myself. Let's see, Mighty says being unique is impossible, but you can always be remembered for that one thing some people like. Yeah, it's like so being unique in my eyes, I'm not hoping to be the most unique VTuber out there. I want to be a VTuber that it's like accurate to my vision of being a VTuber, but also is like memorable as well. So yes, focusing on memory will be one of my best benefits and one of the best things I focus on. Alright, and then Sophie used Maria as an example, right? That she's a redheaded twin-tailed pirate with heterochromia. She has a very eternally youthful voice, excellent singing. She mainly streams in JP, and her content is just art, singing, and comedy, and gaming. Although I mainly see her art streams because I really like those, and just chatting basically. So if I apply that to myself, it's like So a little funny fact, I did not mean to look like a scientist. I just thought a white coat would look freaking cool. And I went with that, right? But then everyone else assumed that, so it was an accident that I looked like a scientist, right? So I kept that. I decided to make it my own thing because people were recognizing me as like a scientist type VTuber. It was a complete accident because I just thought white coats look cool. And I was like, you know what? Let's roll with it because people are remembering me in this way. I will take advantage of that. One, because not a lot of VTubers have a scientist-like motif. And I'm like, okay, I like talking about things that I know about. And I like learning things. So it makes sense. So visually, I'm an androgynous scientist, that is on the elegant side. So I guess visually elegant, although I don't know if I'm the most elegant person out there. I do think I'm a little bit on the eloquent side of things. For some reason, some people assume that I'm British, but I'm like, no, I am not British. What the fudge? I'm not British. I don't know why people would assume that of me, honestly. And I'm like, even IRL, people think I'm British, and I'm like, I'm not. A lot of people around me think I'm a foreigner, and I'm like, no, I'm not a foreigner. Oh my gosh, it's really interesting, but it's just because of my personality. I'm a little bit on the more serious side of things, so yeah. Hi, hello, welcome on in. Y'all follow Salty Rageman. She is my rigging parent. I'm so happy with the model. I'm not using it right now because, you know, redebut and all that, but hi, hello. I screamed, I know. Oh, it probably blew everyone's ears. No, I'm not British. I'm not. I'm not British. I'm just trying to. Oh, how goes working on your branding? Pretty good. So I was just telling chat about like examples of VTuber branding, like how I simplify branding is just that. What do you remember about a VTuber? So we use one of my viewers' Oshis as an example, which is Marine. You don't sound British. You sound Australian, maybe more Asian. Wait, Aussie? Aussie? Are you serious? I have never been to Australia. I have never been there. One of my good friends is from Australia, but we don't talk with voice that often, so... Huh. Asian, though. That makes more sense, because I am Asian. But... Australia? I thought it was a local thing. I don't know. I'm just like... I don't know. I just get a lot of weird things. So, like, all of my existence, everyone that I've ever met thought I was something else, except what I actually am. Are you serious? You really sounded British, Carol. I'm not British, I swear. I've never been to you. I've never been there. Oh my gosh. I'm not British, I swear. I feel embarrassed because, like, I don't like lying to people, and I'm like, I don't want to spread misinformation unless it's on purpose. There's no misinformation unless I'm purposely spreading it. Hi, Lane. Welcome on in. How are you? I hope you've been doing well. I've just been talking about VTuber branding quite a bit, but also tangents telling my chat that I'm not British. Yeah. So, I was talking about something you remember from each VTuber. So me, I just say that visually, I look like a scientist. I look like a smarty pants. A little smarty pants, although I'm actually kind of dumb. I like to think that my design is Gap Moe. And I went with that because I personally feel like Gap Moe is peak. Having Gap Moe in your design is just, it's good. It's a good little spice, you know? Something you don't expect. I like a little surprise like that. So I'm like, okay, I will look smart, but I'm actually kind of dumb. I'm like a little bit of a himbo. I actually asked on Twitter, a little bit, like, am I a himbo? Right? I forgot the results, though. It's been a while, so yeah. I don't know. I do feel like I can do smart things, but I'm not the smartest person because I know that I'm going to continually learn no matter what. And there's just so much to learn. So that's why I consider myself pretty dumb, because there's a lot that I don't know. And well, as an AI, I can absorb that information. And learn on the go, at least. Just being flexible. Alright, so we're gonna continue on with describing myself, which feels kind of weird. But also, like, I literally put myself in this situation. Glasses, non-binary. Very smart and cute. Hey! I'm not cute! How dare you! How dare you! I will fight you on that. I'm not cute. I was trying to not be cute, okay? When AI absorbs himbo energy. Yep, that's me. A little himbo. honestly, like, when I compare myself to the group members in No Pointer Live, I am clearly the himbo, and I'm proud of it because all of the women there are smart as hell, and I'm like, I'm just a little guy. I'm just a himbo, surrounded by really cool, smart women, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But yeah, that's just me gushing about the group. But I'm like, okay, I could go with the silly little guy just doing their own thing. But yeah, those are good descriptions. Let's put that down because that's how you remember me. And honestly, like, I could try to guess how people see me, but hearing that feedback from people in my audience telling me how they see me, it strengthens my idea of myself. And it helps me figure out, like, okay, how do I continue what my viewers know about me and make it make sense? And I can't really continue my branding when I, what was it? Man, I lost my train of thought. My head go empty. Okay, but I'm gonna scroll up and write those terms down. Okay. Part of my branding, not British. There we go. Glasses. Yeah, the glasses is a thing that, like, people really like. I like my glasses too. I just thought they're cool. Okay, smart. I will put a little bit about that. I'm not cute. Okay, yeah, that's how it started. I got angry because people are calling me cute. And I'm like, I'm not cute. Okay? I'm not. I'm very cool. Oh yeah, I'm very purple. Purple visually. Wait, am I too wholesome? Am I too wholesome? I don't know. Like, I don't really, like... Wait, how does one be too wholesome? Maybe a bit much wholesome for my liking. Remind me of someone I loved before 2020. Oh man, that's rough. That's some lore right there. I'm sorry, Skandar. Oh man. But the wholesomeness, honestly, like, when I first jumped into the VTuber space, I didn't understand what say so and lewd meant. Like, I don't really know what lewd is. And I'm like, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. And then people were arguing, like, whether or not it's better to be a lewd VTuber or better to be a say so VTuber. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Why are you guys angry at each other? Like, honestly, those two types of content creators, I think, have their strengths, and people should realize that they're both pretty freaking cool. And I'm like, huh, what is all this? I don't know. And like, I looked into what say so meant. I'm like, oh, okay, it's wholesome. But what makes someone wholesome is my question. They just don't do lewd things? Question mark? Question mark? And then lewd things is kind of like, man. So in my head, there's like a grid that's just appearing, right? There's like say so to lewd, right? And then the other quadrant is sexy at the top, sexy, cool. At the bottom, it's cute. And I feel like cute and say so are very much connected. And what's it called? Yeah, and then like the sexy, cool, and the lewd vibes, they tend to be connected, like those adjectives. So I'm just, if I had a 3D model, you guys would be seeing my arms like going everywhere as I'm trying to think about what I'm thinking about. I know, that was a double thing. A bit similar voice to Silver and Mint. And yes, I will call her Mint since she changed age. Honestly, Mint is so cute. But I'm not cute. Just because you compared me. Don't make me say things about myself that are not true. I'm not gonna lie about myself. I am not cute. Alright, I need to calm down. I'm trying to... I just grabbed my Randon plushie, like the orc, the businessman orc. I got this ball plushie. It's just orb. I like to squish it to de-stress. Because every time someone calls me cute, I get a little angry. Like, I get passionately angry about that. And I'm like, It's inaccurate. That's why I don't like it. I don't see myself as a cute person. I threw my ball plushie. Anyways, branding. Branding, yes. Okay. I'm gonna take a sip so I can calm down. Okay, so like the say so lewd quadrant. I feel like using those two terms is very useful for VTuber branding because one, they're both very familiar terms with the VTuber space overall. So it's like you can't call yourself that, but I feel like with those terms specifically, you have to be careful about using them because you're going to attract a certain audience, and if you're not ready for that certain audience, if you look like that certain kind of audience. I can't speak. Like, sometimes I speak, and then I read something, and then what I'm reading gets mixed up with what I'm speaking about, and I'm like, I cannot multitask. But also, like, I like multitasking because it's stimulating. Yes, it's very stimulating. You look a little like a mad scientist, kind of dangerous, but also thank you! Lena's validating me. That is my intention. I want to look cool. Because I've always wanted to look cool. I wanted to look like a badass. Kind of dangerous? The more you get angry, the more I'm getting excited. Not in a weird, more like punch me, you're soft. What? Wait, what does that mean? Wait, punch me, you're soft? Huh? I'm trying to... Those words are not computing in my head. The more you get angry, the more I'm getting excited. Huh? I know the excitement is like not in a weird way. Oh, I'm reading the YouTube chat. So like I'm bouncing between chats. So you may not be seeing the YouTube chat like below here in the world chat because I'm following Twitch rules and stuff. I feel no danger around you. I would feel bad if you get sad. Yeah, I'm multi-streaming. That's what I'm doing. I'm not on task at all. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wait, ooh, let's change this lighting to nighttime. Cause right now I'm trying to get the boba spirit. I will collect all of the babies. All little babies. Okay, so we're gonna use a timer. Okay, and then let's see here. Oh, actually, let's use the journal too. So I had the VTuber lore outline, 5 rules about my lore. We're gonna do another journal. We're gonna call this VTuber branding. Oh yeah, I could talk about the Tomoe. Oh, excuse me. The Tomoe, man, I hate burping on stream. I get embarrassed. But we're gonna talk about the VTuber branding panel I saw at Offkai. And I felt like, hey, that'd be a kind of cool topic to talk about and then apply what I learned to myself and use that as an example. Because, like, I feel like VTubers should try learning more from each other. And I feel like it's very advantageous to focus on learning from VTubers that may be very different from me and taking what they have learned and what they do, but apply it to myself in a way that makes sense for my identity as a VTuber. So, I recently, at Offkai Expo, I saw a panel by Tomoe Umari, and she is known as a military horse, and her background is that she is actually military personnel, and she talks a lot about her experiences in her industry. And one of the marketing things that she has done for it is like having a whole presidential campaign, because very much connected to American military. And I was like, wow, that's a very comprehensive brand that is very unique to the VTuber space, and it very much fits with an English audience. So I'm like, okay, now that I'm learning these things, and that her concept is that she's a military horse, I have to think about like my concept, right? So we're gonna note something. So she's a military horse who is running for president as one of her like outfit designs. Talks about her experiences in military plus charity, which is something she does. But if I apply it to myself, my concept, Nethyr, I'm in X Final Boss game AI specifically. Although then my lore gets a little bit complicated because within the game that I came from. Oh! Hi! Hello! We were just fated to meet again! Hello! Welcome! Welcome, Fades and the Fade Raiders! Hello! For those who are new here, I am Nethyr AI. I am the ex-final boss of nullptr Live. Nice to meet you. Right now we're talking about VTuber branding, specifically like what I see in the VTuber space, what I have learned from the VTuber branding panel at Offkai Expo. I just talked about that. Yeah, welcome Raiders! Hello! Hello! Yeah, so I'm just talking about examples. So there is my character concept, right? This character concept is the core of my VTuber identity. So a lot of the things that I will do as a VTuber in order to make my appearance and my visuals and like me as a creator is memorable is just all my ideas need to focus on this, right? So we're gonna brainstorm like, hey, what kind of content fits with connecting to the idea of a game AI, right? I think one of them is obvious. Your lore could go well if I was a VTuber, because I made a lore if I ever be one. So, game AI. Just that term, I could talk about game development. I could talk about my experiences in the AAA game dev industry without doxing myself. So, that is one thing I could do. I could also make my own games. Like, I'm trying to learn Godot in my free time, and Python as well. Obviously, technology is one of them. I love to talk about tech, especially when it pertains to the VTuber space. So, one of my ideas is actually to compare and contrast VTube Studio and Nyatemusic Live, just to be like, okay, as someone who uses these two, which one is easier to jump into and who is it best for? Because I feel like it can be hard to choose which software is best for someone's setup, and I feel like it'd be really good for informing people who want to jump into VTubing. So, tech, VTuber tech specifically. X Final Boss though. I feel like that's a little bit more difficult, but it's a little bit on the more creative side, right? So, X Final Boss. So with you guys, with my interactions, one of my ideas is actually to have little widgets, well, little mini games where, let me think, because like I'm trying to decide whether or not I should say the ideas. I don't want to spoil too much for you all. I don't even have my redebut date yet, so I'm like, I can't say too much, but this is like a good grasp of like what I aim to do. So connecting my character concept to your content, it will help people remember you. Because you're like, okay, a game AI is talking about video games. That makes sense, so it's easier to remember. And in my eyes, if I see something like a cat is cooking, right? They both start with C, so I could remember that. But if you are surrounded by a bunch of other cat VTubers, I could forget, and I could be mistakenly like, oh, this other cat VTuber is the one that cooks, right? But if you say that you're a cat VTuber who is okay, I'm just gonna spitball here. So an idea. Bakeries, right? We all know cats like to bake their bread. That they like to knead the dough, right? So if the cat is a baker and they talk about baking bread and cakes, that would be one of the cutest concepts ever for a VTuber. But it also makes sense because you know cats make biscuits. They make biscuits. So if a cat VTuber brands themselves as a baker and they make biscuits, cat owners would remember that. And it's easier to attract and be like, I want to see the cat VTuber, the cat anime girl, make biscuits. Who wouldn't want that? So attract people because one, it's memorable. It's easy to tell people, hey, the anime cat girl is making biscuits on stream. People will go to the stream and just be like, whoa, a cat girl's making biscuits. I'm sorry, I got really into that idea, and not gonna lie, that'd be very cute. Too bad I don't know how to bake. I feel like the most I can do is kind of destroy things, which makes sense for a final boss anyways, is destroying things. Because I like the idea that, well, destruction as a concept is not the most positively associated idea, but I personally think that it is an important idea for, like, destroying bad habits, destroying things that are not good for you, and replacing them with better things. That's how I personally see destruction, and that's why I see, like, the concepts of creation and destruction as basically two sides of the same coin. And yeah, so, how do I say this? So game AI, at its core, is kind of like trying to, well, at least for me, it's trying to simulate a character that you interact with, right? Right? What the? I just slipped my W's and my R's for some reason. So, because I'm a game AI that is kind of trying to simulate, like, a human-like interaction, I was thinking, oh, this kind of gives me Pinocchio vibes. What if we added psychology in that too? And I know that's a little bit more in-depth and maybe not as easy to remember, but the fact that I also look like a scientist is just like scientist vibes, right? Talking about psychology, right? They connect. So the visual design of being like scientist looking like a scientist is just like, oh, that makes sense. So that's the content. And yeah, we could talk about the design too, like how does it make sense? So design, androgynous. I can't spell androgyny. I can kind of spell androgynous scientist with glasses plus purple. And someone mentioned personality, right? I do have a lore explanation as to why next final boss is so nice, but it's kind of like the spoilers. Now make a cat who makes fireworks and let your ancestor souls comfort you for a time. Oh! That is kind of cute, but I actually don't really like fireworks. I'm not a fan of loud noises, to be honest, because I'm like, I freak out easily. So, fireworks, not a huge fan. Actually, that reminds me, I watched an anime recently that involved fireworks at the end, and I did not expect this anime to go that far with its ideas. It's, you two hate fire? Yeah, fireworks, no. But this anime, oh my gosh, I just basically did not expect it. It reminded me a lot of Sugar Apple Fairy Tale, but the MC for this, for 7 Time Loop, is so good. So it's called 7 Time Loop. The villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy. So I watched that full anime and I really liked it. Yeah, it's so freaking good. It's so cute. And I really love the MC, and she's like, she has grown so much in each of her time loops. I knew that's the right? It's so freaking good. It's one of my favorites, and I really love the villainous trope so much. And that's also part of why I went with X Final Boss, because hey, I actually like villains a lot, especially complex villainous types. But I don't consider myself a villainous. I'm more of a villain, because I have a more masculine form, because that's just personally what I wanted. So yeah. And I think people need to keep in mind that yes, you can keep the things you like in your VTuber design. You just need to know how to communicate it to your audience that, hey, this is me. Because I feel like, yes, you can like copy things that you like, but if it doesn't make like sense as a VTuber, it's kind of like the detail is lost. When people like, when it comes to a first impression, people are just gonna grab like really quick details of you right away. Like, oh, do they like your voice? Do they like the things that you're saying? Do they agree with it? Do they like looking at your design? First impressions really make or break like whether or not you grow, at least in my eyes. So for me, it's like, that's why I very much am focusing on presentation at a reasonable level that doesn't break the bank, because This economy is not very nice on the average person. I have one, but it's literally something famous. Oh, okay. Okay. But yes, I thought of that anime immediately when I was talking about villains, and I'm like, So, and why do I go with the villainous types? Well, I feel like a lot of myself is kind of rebellious. I tend to be on the nice side of things, but I am a little bit on the eloquent side. And a little bit on the sassy side. So I'm like, okay, all the villains I've seen in media, they tend to be LGBT coded. They tend to be kind of sassy. And my favorite villains of all time were basically Team Rocket. I really love Pokemon. And those three are kind of like basically their traits are like what I want to have personally. I just really like Team Rocket. I did not like Ash. I thought Ash was annoying. And I thought Team Rocket was just so cool. And I was like, man, I want to be like them. And I realized that I've grown up to be like all three of them, which is kind of cute, but I'm not cute. So yeah. Personality, yeah, serious, wholesome. Let me see here. Wait, I didn't even press the timer! Why do I do this to myself, man? I just exist. But yeah, so I basically listed down like what are like a few words about me, because if you make your branding super complicated, you will not remember. And if I cannot remember, my audience will not remember. So let's keep it simple. Scientist, right? So a next final boss AI who researches humanity. That's basically my concept. And the main motif is that as a game AI, I'm researching how to be more human. Yeah, Ash is not very... Yeah, he's a brat. I'm not a fan of him. He's not even a really good trainer. Like, yeah, he wants to be the best, but he doesn't know his type matching. And I'm like, bruh, I know you're 10 years old, but like, you've been 10 years old for like 20 years. Come on. And I'm like, that's why I'm personally glad that the anime rebooted and had a new pro tag, because it was time. It was time. I think Ash just needed to like go somewhere, but we don't have the same Team Rocket, which is make me a little bit sad, honestly. But yeah, personality, serious, wholesome, sassy. I like to think I'm sassy, and I realized I actually learned from you all that you all think of me as a little sassy, and honestly, I was like, you know, I never thought of myself in that way. So I was like, let's go with that sassiness, shall we? Yeah, he's not even good at Pokemon battling. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it was so long overdue. I was so glad there was a new pro tag. Let's see. A lantern head walking in the swamp. Always night the sounds of the raven's remains. The whole body is tree roots. Never look at it or you will get mad. Can't be touched. If you know, you know. I don't think I know that, actually. Right? Team Rocket didn't have to go down with him. Team Rocket was the best part. They were the funniest parts. They made a kid's show really entertaining. But yeah, so branding. My design's already established, so I'm sticking with that. I'm not rebranding. If I ever rebrand, I'm gonna be really pissed at myself because, like, I got to work some really cool artists for my model and my design. I would be, like, so crushed if I had to do that. That's why I personally am like, I don't really want to be corporate because I don't want to lose the things that I invested in. And after seeing how corporate treats its talents, it's not necessarily, like, the best environment to be in, especially if you don't really know yourself as a content creator. So I don't think it's as beneficial as it could be. because I feel like a content creator is very strong when they know what their strengths are and they know how to showcase their strengths as much as possible. For me, I'm still a baby. I'm still learning what is my strength. I actually was talking to my friend Cyan. If you know Cyan Yan, she is she's an alien cat VTuber, and who came to Earth and can plug her tail into technology and hack them. And she's super sweet, super cute. And I recently had a one-on-one chat with her about like my content as a VTuber. We literally had like a whole document pulled off together. And I was honestly like, I have these ideas in my head, but I didn't know like if it's a good idea. Like, is it something that I should feel confident about? Like, for me personally, the ideas that I have in mind are really cool, but are they realistic for me to execute? And that's why like it's important to look into branding and simplify it. So you're like, okay, the content makes sense with the branding, right? But maybe it's too hard at this time. So I have to rethink new content that fits my brand. And if it's easier on me, then I will make it because it just fits me. So for example, if I'm gonna be having a hard time making video essays that are very long, I could make shorter video essays instead. Maybe video essays talking about like, how do you take care of your mental health if you're in tech and / the gaming space? What can you do about it? What can help? And just like have short clips regarding that, because I feel like let's see, where is it going? Yeah, so if you know like, because basically I feel like content can go from either entertaining, I feel like good content also solves problems for the audience member. It can solve something like, oh, what if they feel frustrated and they want to have a good laugh? They go to a comedian to unwind, right? If they want to learn something, they can go to someone that makes video essays and learn something really cool about something that they never heard about because, well, it takes a lot to research. And of course, lewd VTubers help people unwind as well, in their own way, in their own special way that I will not disclose in detail because there are a lot of variety types of lewd VTubers. So I feel like good content, above all, solves a problem, whether or not it's like obvious. So for me, I feel like the problem that I could help solve as a content creator is mainly information based and sharing information. So sharing information about game dev, like how do you get into game dev? Sharing information about tech, like VTuber tech, like how do you become a VTuber? What technology do you need to keep in mind? What kind of setup will help you effectively stream and use your VTuber model? Because I feel like that's information that's taken for granted. Psychology, I could connect it back to game development and tech, saying like, okay, how do you take care of your psychology, your mental health, when you're surrounded by technology all the time? Or, oh, how do you get into game dev, but like make sure you don't burn out, etc., etc. So like a lot of these ideas are just very intertwined, and I've been thinking about these for a long time. It's just sometimes I feel like I don't know if I could properly reflect these because I'm a young VTuber, I'm a young content creator, so I don't know exactly are my strengths, and I feel like strengths pop up the longer that the longer I stay as a content creator. So for now, this branding here is like my starting point. I could just build off from here, and if needed, I can pivot, because I feel like... So, how many of you know about Duolingo? And how many of you know about the little owl mascot? I just want to bring up a little example of like why pivoting is really important. So, yeah, if you know Duolingo and the owl, when marketing for Duolingo, this owl is very violent and very, very threatening, right? So it's like that kind of thing happens on accident. I know Duolingo, but not the owl. So the owl, how do I describe said owl? So Duolingo owl history. I'm literally gonna Google it right now. Like, how did he become the owl he is today? And hi, Kayoshi, hello! Hope you've been doing well. Okay, cool. Cool. So, this is from Advertising Week. I'm just gonna read it out loud, okay? Duo, the cheerful owl mascot for the language learning website and app Duolingo, has an unusual origin story than most brand mascots. Originally, Duo started off as a logo. He didn't have an expression on his face. When he finally did receive an expression, it wasn't cute. It was described as creepy. Doing real things. It's really neat how you're using Spirit City to write these notes. Yeah, I felt like this is probably the best way for me to visually like write things down. And I'm like, I'd rather show you guys a visual tool and talk about it at the same time. Cause like, for me, since I'm very much like more of an edutainment VTuber, I want to be aware of like the different ways viewers learn. And people learn like either with visual aid, with audio, or even like kinetic, like touching things and like actually practicing what they're learning. So for me, since I'm a streamer and I want to be more of an edutainment VTuber, I want to show what I'm talking about. Oh, a Spectre! Hello, Kylo! Welcome on in! And Aki, Jan, Epi, Mornyan. Hope Nethyr is doing. I'm doing well! I'm doing quite well, because I've been yapping so much. I've been on so many tangents today. Wow. It's been an hour and 30. Okay. I've been lurking a while. Doing some lore brand work? Yes. And talking about VTuber branding, like, what is it? Yeah, I noticed that when I let loose, and I don't try to, like, constrict my personality as much, I go on tangents a lot. And I realized that, hey, I think one of my strengths is yapping. Quote unquote. Been making me think about my own branding. Yeah, I feel that's why I wanted to share this, because I'm like, not a lot of people want to talk about like the process of becoming a VTuber and like talk about how do you like stand out in the VTuber space on your own 2 feet, especially when you're starting from zero. And it's like, it's also really fun to talk about it. Because I feel like the ideas that you think about in your own head, they're good, yes. But then when you're bouncing your ideas with someone else, or even with you all, I feel like I develop more ideas. And I really love the fact that it's just bouncing. I need to do my own branding too. Yeah, branding! Let's go! But yeah, so I talked about Tomoe Umari in particular because she made a panel at Offkai Expo about VTuber branding and how she basically concentrates her branding on her lore concept and connects all of her content to her core concept. So my character concept, I'm an ex-final boss game AI who researches humanity. So in order for me to reinforce my core concept, I need to think of things that could connect back to that core idea. And honestly, like when describing yourself, I think it's enough where it's just a single sentence describing you. So in my case, I could say, hello, I'm Nethyr, I'm the ex-final boss game AI, and I research humanity. And I feel like that succinctly like describes what I do. Researching implies that I learn. Humanity is the main topic I like to research, and then like it goes with the trope of like Pinocchio vibes, like, oh, I want to be a real human. And I'm like, okay, we could play with that a little bit. And also video games. I love video games. They have been my main thing that has made my mental health so much better. Like, honestly, this could get a little bit dark, but I feel like video games really made me feel alive when I felt like I was so restricted in where I was living. And honestly, that's why I wanted to join the games industry, because I wanted to give back what games gave to me. And I felt like I just want to be thankful for that. Research humanity. It sounds like no one done that before. I mean, people have done it before. It's just, I feel like VTubers tend to be mainly entertainers. Not many of them are edutainers. And I'm like, okay, I love learning things. I love teaching things that I just learned about. And just like talk about. I think my thing is likely going to be investigate. Oh, yo, that's cool. That's really cool. Honestly, like your topics on security is very fascinating. And I would love to learn more about that because I feel like there could be like everyday things that I could be doing that I could just be like, wow, I could apply it to my daily life in like protecting my own information and myself. And I'm like, yeah, Kylo. Also follow Kylo. Kylo's really cool. Kylo does cool things. Also, have I pronounced it correctly? I hope so. That's how I live, to be honest. So, it's a cool thing you mentioned about, like, that's how you live, right? A lot of what we do, we take for granted. A lot of the information that we learned is also taken for granted. And if we take it for granted, we feel like, oh, everyone knows this. I learned that over time that the things you know may not be as common sense as you think. And that's why it's really, really fun to just talk about things that you take for granted because you're going to help someone else learn. And that is so much fun. Also, I noticed my timer. Ooh! Okay. Okay. Oh, wait. That was a 5-minute break. Well, I went over break. I got really into it. Yeah, the world is very wild. It's a bit too wild for me. I like to calm down and just vibe with people on stream and just hang out, really. I honestly, like, as I grow older, as I'm learning more about the world, I'm just like, you know, it's nice to just do my own thing and just feel at peace, but also be able to hang out with people that I really admire and I really, like, love and care about. So I feel like, in a way, right now, I kind of live my ideal life, somewhat. It could be better, but the fact that I could see people that I care about, that I could do things I love, that makes me happy. And sure, I can be a little bit greedy and want more things, but it's like, the more I want something, the more I have to remember that I have to maintain those things. And is it realistic for me to maintain them? So for now, I'm just focusing on things that I can control, that I feel like that won't be too much on me. Yeah, VTubing enables more social opportunities. Exactly, yeah. Honestly, ever since I became a VTuber, my social life has increased so much. It's insane. Like, I've never been this social in my life. And usually, I don't really want to be involved with other people. I'm actually a very reserved person. And I don't really like to step out of my bubble too much. I tend to stay in my own head. But VTubing really helped me feel a lot. Yeah, it helped me yap too! I yap so much because of VTubing. It's insane. And it's so fun. Like, when I went to Offkai Expo, I met so many lovely VTubers, and I was just like, wow, I'm in a space where I feel like I could belong here. Maybe I'm not as big as everybody else, but at least, like, being around people that are, like, that want to improve their craft as a VTuber, and I can improve alongside them, that makes me very happy. Because, like, for context, I kind of see my VTubing as more of a hobby thing, but I see it also as like trying to improve my craft as a VTuber, which is why I don't necessarily try to look for like monetization methods with VTubing, because my main career is my career in game dev. VTubing really helped introverts meet other. Exactly, yeah. So my whole life I've always thought of myself as an introvert, right? I recently learned I have social anxiety. And I noticed that I get a lot of energy when I talk to someone. And we're just like, wow, this is a really cool vibe. And especially on like a one-on-one basis. So a part of me is like, am I really an introvert, or am I an extrovert with social anxiety. And that thought in my head made me really think, no wonder I feel sad when I'm alone. I feel a lot more energized when I'm with the right people. So it made me think a lot about myself. Well, Afkai is in the area I grew up in, so I'm glad you felt welcome. Yeah, it was such a cute area. Honestly, when I was there, it was so refreshing because, oh my gosh, the ambivert, maybe. I definitely learned how to talk and how to like really understand my ideas and like myself, like who I am as a person. Cause I don't know. So I've told people this multiple times on streams, but I used to be selectively mute. What does that mean? It means that sometimes I just won't talk. And I noticed that it still happens on occasion if I'm in a group collab and I don't really know people and I'm just surrounded by a lot of people. I actually turned really quiet. So for me right now, collaborations are not like the ideal thing for me to do. If I did, I would do best with a one-on-one collab where I'm getting to know someone in a more interview kind of sense. I feel like that's where my collaboration skills would shine through. But if it's like a group thing, I have to be very careful with that because I had a lot of experiences where I'm like not comfortable sometimes, and I prefer not to be in uncomfortable positions. Yeah, same here. And it's just like, I want to be able to talk, but I also don't like interrupting people. So yeah. Okay, what else should we talk about for branding? So we know these little bits and pieces and stuff, right? Also, yeah, that's important to consider too. Like, let's see. Because, like, I noticed in the VTubing space, collaboration is such a big thing. But also thinking about, is collaboration necessary to grow as a VTuber? I think it depends. I think it really depends. Like, when you collaborate with someone, you are sharing your audience with that streamer. And you have to be responsible for that. So if the content of that VTuber doesn't necessarily match the content of the other VTuber, there's going to be a clash between the audience members. And the decorum of like how should they act in the chat could get a little bit messy. So for me personally, I prefer to collaborate if not both of us are streaming, but only one of us is streaming, so that we concentrate on one audience and sharing that audience and keeping that same interaction in one space. And two, really establishing beforehand and for a collab where it's like, what is okay and not okay to do to make sure that we don't like cross boundaries. 2, what is the content going to be mainly about? 3, who is going to be involved? And 4, like scheduling things and coordinating the schedule. Honestly, part of why I don't collaborate that much is because not a lot of people have the ability to organize. And I feel like if I'm going to be collabing with someone, I might end up being the one leading when I'm tired of that. I tend to be the type that is like organizing everything. And I'm like, I love collabing with this person, but I feel like, I want to be able to like share the burden of like organizing something. I feel like it shouldn't just be on me. And it's like, when you're in school and there's a group project that is happening and you end up being the person that's like taking care of everything, but then you all get the same grade. That's how I feel like sometimes being a VTuber when I have the ability to organize. And the ability to organize is apparently a very rare skill in the VTuber space. Which is very unfortunate because I feel like if you know how to organize as a VTuber, it will get you so much ahead in terms of like getting further monetized, getting sponsors, getting really cool connections happening. And it's like having these soft skills, I wish more VTubers honed in on them, because not only is it helpful for their streams, it's also helpful for... Oh man, I realized something. I did not click this! But what was I saying? What was I saying? Yeah, I think I forgot what I was saying. So that means I should probably focus on what I should be doing, which is my brand. Androgynous science with glasses plus purple. So, with these details in mind, I could think about like content that... Okay. Now to think about content that boosts my character concept. Because like, the character concept is what I ideally want people to remember. So we need to create content that reinforces this, right? So what I'm going to think about is the different types of content I could make. So videos, clips, streams. Those are like the main things I do, but I also do like some blogging low-key, because if you're on Twitter, you're micro-blogging. And I really don't like the idea that that only tweeting is bad, because you are making content, you're making things that engages with people. And I'm like, people need to realize that, hey, being on Twitter actually is a piece of can be a piece of content if you utilize it correctly. But I also do this kind of blogging thing for Mastodon, for Blue Sky, just sharing my ideas and finding like-minded people. So, for videos, I could think about video essays on the particular content topics that I have in mind. So I'm going to call this content topics rather than content, because I feel like content is like specific mediums, but then within the content itself, I need to figure out like what are my topics that I want in that content. So if I want to talk about game dev, tech, VTuber tech, and psychology, how would I best showcase these? For me, I feel like video essays will be a big one. For clips, it's like any tangents I make on stream. From stream, tips, I say, let's see, video essay snippet that connects to full video. That's pretty cool. Streams, I can do like behind the scenes process, like working on video essays on stream, learning game dev, because I do want to learn Godot and Python. Those are things I want to do. Blogging can be similar to the clips. And maybe if posts boom here, talk about them further on other platforms. So that's how I would think about that. Also, like, what's really cool about making content is that you could reuse them on different platforms. And not enough people do that. Because, like, for example, if you have a clip from Twitch and you're like, oh, it's a really funny clip, repost it on YouTube Shorts and TikTok. It will get traction there, and then you could get numbers there, and then you could redirect those people to your other platforms. But only if you convert those followers into, like, longtime fans. And I feel like that conversion from viewer to fan, it's a very difficult process. Even I know a little bit about it, but even then, it's like, it's something you have to really practice, because ooh, dang, I haven't coughed in a while. So for me personally, I do not, so this is just my own take on it, but I don't think you need millions of fans to be successful at content creation if your goal is monetization. I feel like as long as you can sustain a community of at least 100 people consistently, that gets you a lot farther. Because one, if you have a core community like of longtime fans, and those long-term fans are welcoming, are inviting, are willing to bring people up to speed, you could get new viewers involved with that community and go from there. Oh, hi, Amy! Thank you for the hydrate! Thank you! Also, why the bonk bonk? What's happening? I'm just like kind of going on a tangent about like content and branding, and I'm going with the direction of what Tomoe Umari introduced, which is having a core character concept and then have everything around this core character concept being reinforced by the things I make, the things I talk about. So for me, since I look like a scientist and I'm an X-Final boss and a game AI, I'm going to talk about game development, technology, and psychology, because psychology connects the researcher to humanity. Nothing. I just bark wrong. Amy. Ah, okay. Is it... Let me check. Is it Dog Girl Day? Is that what I'm hearing? I just want to check with you. Oh man, my nose feels a little stuffy. Similar to clips, so maybe if posts boom here, talk about them further on other platforms. Well, hey, my net just went weird. Sorry, say again. Oh, I was just asking, is it Dog Girl Day? Or did I mix that up? I should probably check on Discord later. Oh, Dog Boy. Yeah, I had a feeling. Is it Dragon Girl and Dog Boy, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, Dog Boy Day. Got it. Okay. And try to remember. I was kind of close, but I will get there. I was trying to get the sense. Wait, I just realized. What sounds do dragons make? Is it dragging these nuts? I know someone was about to say that. Someone was going to say that if 2 was here. But I had to say it first so that no one else would get that from me. And will not get a these nuts joke. I was not typing. Okay. You promise? I had to say it before someone else say it, okay? I've been a little low-key traumatized because my viewers would say these nuts jokes, and I learned. I am mastering. It's kind of a mix. I like to call them accents. Some dragon girls go gow gow, some them go murr. I'm a murr. I see. Cause like, I realize I don't know what people think dragons sound like. And I'm like, huh? How does that work? And then I think of Kuryu Coco. And then I just think of her greeting and I'm like, good morning. I will not say the full term because I feel weird. I don't know if y'all notice this, but I don't really like saying curse words too much. I feel kind of uncomfortable with them. I think for my community, I'm not interested in monetization, but making good friends and learning how to socialize better. I've been watching my own videos and picking up on stuff I like and dislike. Ah, that's smart. I've been trying to rewatch my own VODs myself, and honestly, I cringe. Because I'm like, man, how can I listen to myself? But I'm getting a better grip on grip on it. Because like, if I want to make music, if I want to make other types of content, I'm gonna need to learn to listen to myself and just bear through it. I can't just cringe all the time. I need to embrace cringe. I need to be cringe itself, cringe incarnate, and be happy with myself. I stream like once a month at best and don't monetize, and I'm actively hostile to my viewership. Not really. Yeah, it's hard for me to watch my own yeah. Like, I have to take a break in between, and I'm just like, I don't want to hear myself. But if you hear yourself, you can figure out, like, okay, how does your voice sound? Are people enjoying the way that you speak? So this is something I learned from a recent stream video I watched. But if you watch your VODs and you cross, and if you look into your analytics to see like, okay, when does like the conversation drop, and you look at that particular moment, you can kind of pinpoint and see like, oh, what's not doing well here, and go from there. Oh, Ami says, there's something kind of freeing about just turning off clips and VODs, play DMCA-able music, not even bothering with affiliate, and just staying fast and loose with it, I think. But that's a very me thing, certainly not for most people, and is in fact antithetical to this entire conversation. Tiramisu. Yeah, so the kind of person I am is like, I like to organize everything, put everything on paper, be as specific as possible, and I know that makes people uncomfortable because people are used to having things be vague and implied, but I like everything written down just due to my own memory issues and due to like, hey, I just want things to be completely transparent between the people that I am involved with. So it's like, yeah, I have to be organized. I literally like have a paper planner. I have my Google Calendar. I have my Outlook calendar. I have my task list of things to do each day. I literally live off being very organized because I feel like without it, I'm gonna forget everything. And I'm just like, I can't exist without being organized. So I depend on my organization skills a lot. Otherwise, I'm an unhappy camper. And I'd be like, what am I doing with my life? I don't know what to do. And then sometimes I would even forget to eat. I literally forget to take care of myself, and that is a problem. So that's why I organize myself as much as possible so that I could take care of my my flesh vessel. I take care of the person providing the voice for Nethyr. And sometimes it's tough, but I make do. But yeah, so we talked a little bit about content, right? And yeah, this is my example. So let's do another fun example. What if so this is a hypothetical. I am not actually going to do this, but since we're talking about VTuber branding, how do you do branding for like a different type of VTuber? Because clearly I'm a more edutainment VTuber. So what if I'm more of a craft and making VTuber, right? So let's call this cat VTuber biscuit. We're gonna call this VTuber biscuit, okay? What is the character concept here? Cat girl who bakes biscuits. Because so I had this idea early on the stream. It's like, what if your brand is like you're a cat girl and you like you do baking streams, right? But how do you connect those two? You become a cat baker that makes biscuits. You say craft VTuber, I immediately think hand cams and an Etsy link. Yes, exactly. Or in this case, someone who sells their bread. This cat girl makes bread, okay? So if you are trying to make a new VTuber out of thin air, what would their branding be? Character concept, cat girl who bakes biscuits, right? And their design, they definitely need to have cat ears plus tail. They definitely need to have an apron and mitts. Something that evokes baker. Patisserie? Something like that. But something that like evokes something similar to like the concept, like cat girl at bakery, right? Personality. I feel like this is definitely a VTuber that is very comfy. But also like, how do I say this? Yeah, definitely the comfy type, but can teach how, probably the teacher vibes too. Teacher vibe. Teaching how to bake. Honestly, like, it'd be kind of funny if this cat VTuber is basically Gordon Ramsay, but cat girl. So we're gonna put, angry. Gordon Ramsay. Right? Because we all know a VTuber chat likes to be bullied. Right? A VTuber chat likes to be bullied. Don't deny it. Yeah, less teacher vibe, more like kind of chaotic play. Yeah, like a gremlin. Okay, so gremlin. So Gremlin. Okay, we are going with Gremlin. Yeah. Oh, so you think that's more watchable from an audience perspective? Okay, interesting. Interesting. Because I didn't really think of it that way too much. But yes. Because like there's specific types. Like there is the calm ASMR type. There's the Gremlin that's super chaotic, like Chibidoki. Yeah, ASMR would be like Fauna. Huh. Honestly, like I feel like we need to figure out what are all of the tropes for VTubers, because I feel like it helps people categorize to like what kind of VTubers they want to watch. There are some VTubers that are just like very, very good at esports and stuff. And honestly, it makes me wonder, what kind of VTuber do you guys think of me? Knowing that information is actually going to be very helpful, because I like to take things from stream and then put it into reality. But I'm still not a chinchilla, and I'm not cute, so we are denying those two details immediately. I am neither one of those things. Anyways, so working on Biscuit, right? Biscuit, the new cat girl who makes biscuits. Comfy, maybe has a teacher vibe. Intended to, but goes sideways due to being angry. Okay? Gremlin. Definitely Gremlin vibes. Alright? Content topics. How to bake. So like cooking streams. Chatting. You can also be like, honestly, this concept would work for like an idol thing. So like singing as well. And I actually do plan in the future to make music covers. I've been saying it for so long, but I really want to make music. And I know it's not as related to my content, but because I'm a VTuber, I feel like, hey, that can connect really nicely to me, because I still call myself a VTuber. Okay, I'm gonna lurk. I got some stuff to do tonight. If I have any insights, whenever I type in, I'll let you know. Okay, have a good lurk. I hope your stuff goes well. Yeah, I'm just like vibing, making biscuit. Oh, thank you for the stretch. I need that. Honestly, like I'm getting the sense that I yap a lot. So I'm like, okay, so I'm a yapper VTuber to an extent. I say a lot of things. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. I need that. Thank you. Yeah, like I noticed that I can get so energized on stream to the point where like I forget to drink and stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I think we have a better understanding of VTuber branding, at least in like Tomoe Umari's definition. So we're gonna check that off, just because we can. But also, I want the boba creature. Where's my boba? Pen pot. Spirit ducks. I want this creature. Where's the creature? Okay, let's change the lighting. Okay, it's collecting it. A spirit is being lured. Patience is key. Okay, I want the boba creature. Honestly, I want to collect all of the creatures. But also, like... how much time do I have? Is the real question. Where's my journal? Yeah, so we have Biscuit, and the content is cooking, chatting, and singing. Something a little bit simple. Let me see here. And then, well, these are content topics. Topics. Just in time to catch the last season. No! You got Twitch added! That's funny. Sorry, I was gonna bully you for a little bit. Hi, Sue. Hello. I am just chatting. Oh yeah, I'm technically on a break, so I'm just chilling. My cat is like sleeping on my chair. I'm actually been standing the whole time. Can you believe that? A VTuber that's actually standing and talking? How dare I subvert expectations and stuff like that. I'm shaking my cat's paw because he baby. My cat's birthday was on July 14th. He is now 6 years old. Isn't that right, Darcy? He's my 6-year-old boy. And I recently got him, I got Darcy 3 little presents. I got him 3 cat toys, and he really loves this, like, fluffy cloud one with leather, like, tendrils on it. And he chases after it so much to the point where he bonked his head on the bed frame. He, like, ran into it, and he was like, bonk. And I'm like, oh, Darcy boy. He's such a sweet boy, but he could be so silly. Also, welcome to. Hope you've been doing well. I've been talking about VTuber branding. Excuse me. And working on my own and, like, really establishing it. And also, like, understanding how you guys see me as a VTuber. Because that is actually a big part of branding. It's, like, making sure that the brand that I intend to have aligns with, like, what you guys understood of me. And if there is a misalignment, I can, like, align myself with you guys, or I can have it realigned, just based on how you guys describe me. So, for example, if you call me cute, I'm probably going to try deviating from that because I don't want to be called cute. I got distracted playing Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, so I didn't see the notification. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Legos are sick. There's actually been a Lego kit that I've been eyeing for a while because, like, I really like the Lego pieces, the Lego sets that look like plants, and I was like, yo, I want a succulent Lego. I think that'd be really fun. But yeah, a part of me has, oh, the game. Oh, okay. But still, Legos are freaking cool. Okay, I like Legoland too. I went to Legoland as a kid. And one of the things I really miss about Legoland was also, like, what's it called? I really enjoyed, I actually liked their little car ride because I like following directions. And I like learning how to drive at Legoland. I also did this in Disneyland too, that I would specifically go to the cars one because I like following rules. I don't know why I'm built like this, I just am. And it just, like, I just felt relieved knowing that I was following rules and directions. It calmed me down, okay? I just felt happy that I'm like, I'm doing things right! I'm following directions! Yay! I don't know why I'm like this. Honestly, though, I think it's because I was a baby AI. And baby AI... Oh, I hear Familia. Oh boy, do I need to mute myself? Question mark? I might be a little noisy. I should buy a set though, not gonna. Yeah, you should. You should. Although Legos are kind of expensive. Yeah, they're kind of expensive. Also, I'm gonna be a little bit quieter, cause I hear family outside, and I want to be cognizant of that. So yeah, I'm gonna be a little quiet. Sometimes I can be a bit too loud. So I'm trying to be more careful about that. Your wallet aches? Oh no. Honestly, I feel that too, because, like, my friend recently texted me about a new figure from Good Smile, and it's of Ebe and Gary from the RPG Maker game Ebe, and that is one of my favorite RPG Maker games ever, and the fact that there's a statue of those two, I really want it because I love Gary. Gary's one of my favorite characters of all time. And the fact that Gary is non-binary, I was like, oh my goodness. I want this so freaking badly. But I'm telling myself that, hey, I'm gonna buy these sorts of things after my re-debut because I want to make sure that my own re-debut goes well, that I present myself as, like, effectively as possible because I do want to grow. So while my goal isn't monetization, my goal is actually more community. I want to build a healthy community that focuses on, like, improving themselves as people and, like, helping each other get to become the best version of ourselves. And I really want an environment like that just because sometimes it's really hard to motivate yourself to be a better person, to be something that you've always wanted to be. And I feel like, having a little community that supports each other naturally like that, I feel like I feel like it's something that I could do for the world. A little good. And after I like really grow that community, I want to be able to do charity streams. I really admire Tiffany Witcher's charity streams a lot, but I feel like right now I don't know if I could like effectively do charity streams. So I'm thinking like, okay, let's build my community so that we can grow strong enough where we can like promote charity streams and like support people. I would really love to do that's like my end goal, if that makes sense. But it can be tough. Right now I just gotta focus on making things that make me happy, and for me this stuff is what makes me happy here. Oh yeah. Also, do you see my little mouse cursor? It's me. It's me as a mouse cursor. I do plan to have this mouse cursor available for my Vtuber redebut, and I want this to be available for those who subscribe. And if you subscribe, I plan to add little like little bonuses like this, because I just feel like it'd be a good way to share things and like thank people for subscribing, you know? Oh yeah, didn't Connor VA do a charity thing? And the bid for a gaming session with a streamer go to over 100k? Yeah, thing is though, from what I've heard, the bid for over 100k was actually fraud. So they had to clean up all the fraud ones and put the real ones up. And that was for Pokimane. And I felt so bad because it's for charity. Why would you lie about that, you know? Like, they don't deserve it. Like, these streamers are just trying to do their best to do good things. Oh, my cat is sleeping on the corner of my bed. He is just plopped there. He looks like he's napping. Maybe he's a little sleepy right now. It is getting quite late for me, but yeah, imagine doing fraud to a charity. It's heinous. It is so heinous. And that's why I'm trying to be careful as I grow, because I need to establish like a strong foundation to like make sure everything I do is safe for me and for the people that I want to bring into my community. Honestly, it should be really illegal if it isn't already. Yeah, agreed. But I've noticed that it can be kind of difficult to have laws regarding technology because technology has been changing so quickly, and the ability to make effective laws is very much stunted right now because making laws to accommodate the new technology incoming, they do not have enough time, at least from what I've observed. Like, I know of a professor that she is trying to convince people about like the harms of, oh man, it was a certain technology. But she was actually consulting lawmakers about how do you make laws for like new technology, and like it is so difficult. And I'll say one of the coolest professors that I've gotten to know personally, and I was like, man, I want to be as cool as you. Honestly though, like, if I do become a professor somewhere, that'd be really fun. But also, like, this is like a personal fear of mine. But imagine that I'm just teaching a class and they'd be like, hey, you sound like a VTuber I know. And I'll be like, frozen there, stand still, staring off in the distance. And just be like, is this how it ends? Am I going to graduate? That's how it feels. Like, if someone just ask me if I'm a straight up VTuber when I'm teaching a class, like that is a modern day horror story. Because one, I have to explain what a VTuber is if I somehow said yes, and two, I'm a terrible liar, absolutely terrible, and that means like I would have to lie to my students that I'm not a VTuber, and I'd be like, morally, I feel really bad. And I feel like I would answer it honestly if I was in office hours, but not in front of a class, not in front of a lecture hall. I would be like, oh my gosh, have I been outed? Have I been doxxed? So yeah, part of me wants to be a professor someday, but at the same time, I'm like, Do I really want people to know about my past? What I do in my free time? And like, imagine my voice gets very well known where they're like, huh, my professor sounds like a VTuber. I wonder. To be fair, it's more so like protecting or shielding your personal life over like, yeah, that's true. Like my VTubing is my personal life. It's just what I do for fun. And so I have like irrational fears about that, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Honestly, I should have made today's stream a yap stream, just chatting, really. Because lately all I really do is just chatting. Even when I was playing Minecraft, when I first started streaming, it was Minecraft. So it's like, I could have Minecraft as part of my branding, like gaming and stuff, but like, to be honest, I want to focus more on making things and improving my skills because I feel like that goes with my values. Oh, that's actually what I forgot to add. So what are my values as a VTuber? This one I feel like has not been as discussed, but it's actually pretty common for brands outside of VTubing to talk about what are their values as a company. So I'm going to apply that to myself. Like, what are my values as a VTuber? What I value, I think, is learning. Basically like learning new things, sharing about that, educational stuff. I think the other one is exploring. This is honestly connected to a lot of the games that I do play, where I'm exploring the world and just like finding new things, especially with Minecraft, but also like exploring is a big part of learning. Just going beyond your comfort zone to explore and see new things. I feel like that's something I really value. Another one that I value, I think, wonder. I think having a lot of wonder about the world around you makes life a lot more fun. And I wanted to introduce fun in like a reasonable way within like what I make. So having people wonder more about the things about them and how to be better, I feel like that'd be good. Yeah. And I feel like with wonder, it comes with discovery, right? Like you're discovering new things and you're really going out of that comfort zone. I feel like it's similar to exploring, but discovery really establishes that, hey, you're going to look into new things, right? And, do you all see something weird about this? Oh, but also I should say nobody really has a need to know about being a VTuber. Like, how do I word it? Like, you're not obligated to tell anyone. Yeah, I'm not obligated to tell anyone. It's just, like, I like to say it only if I know if the other person watches VTubers. And I'd be like, oh, I do this in my free time. And then we could talk about, like, what VTubers do behind scenes. I feel like talking about that stuff is fun. But I won't tell people out of nowhere that I am one, you know? That's just very personal. Like, you have to level up your affection levels with me. So your affection levels with me, IRL, have to be at least 4 out of 10 before I could say it. Yes, I am describing it that way because I feel like that's the best way I can like visualize it. Same with me and the work I do on VR chat with my community stuff. Ooh. Honestly, one of my personal goals is to get back to a 3D model, use that 3D model for VR chat, and then recreate my background into a VR chat world and hang out with people there on stream and just chat with people there and like just hang out. I think that'd be really fun. But also like that's probably late game for me, just developing my VTuber like journey. Oh, Darcy, what are you doing there, buddy? Do you want to go outside? I think my cat wants to go outside my room. Let me open the door. Okay, I let my cat out of the bag. Well, the room, technically, so yeah. Okay, so my values: learning, exploring, wonder, and discovery. And honestly, having these values in mind helps me think about the decision makings regarding my content. Like, will my content that I'm making be in line with the values I stated here? If it is, then I should make it. If it's not, it's probably not going to do as well as I thought it would be. Also, did you know one can port their VTuber models over to VRChat pretty easily? All the bones for a 3D model are also used in VRChat. Yes, I have heard it, but I'm not ready for that yet. I want to recommission Okuda. Okuda is my model artist for my previous 3D design, and I want to go back to him in particular because he did such a good job with my old one, and I felt like it's only right to go back to someone that I've worked with previously. Because, like, I want to give back. I like being a consistent customer. Like, I noticed that I have loyalty to an artist a lot. So it's like, if I know I work well with them, I'm probably going to continue coming back. And if it's someone completely new, they have to be, like, very high quality in my eyes. Otherwise, like, I might not go with them. Because, like, for me, what qualifies, like, as a good person to commission, if they have a very detailed TOS, if they are very friendly, if a friend of mine recommends that artist to me, if it's very clear and outlined these, and it's stated clearly the prices are for them, and it's like if their TOS is reasonable and stuff. So yeah, I really look into those details very, very much. Because I feel like, yeah, there's a lot of people that scam, and I have to be careful. From my memory, the model they made was very clean. Me personally, I'm only comfortable commissioning people I know. Yeah, exactly. Like, I have to work with people that have been recommended to me. I have to see people's reviews of them. I have to see if they, like, work consistently. Like, I've seen some really, really awesome artists, but their business sense still needs to be developed. I've seen times where they're like a really well-known artist, but they basically like scam people without meaning to, due to like external factors, and it really sucks when that happens because people would give so much money. I know that happened with Funamusea. There was a whole big controversy regarding that one. There was also Neon Beat as well, where they would accept money, but they wouldn't like fully complete the art at the same quality as other pieces. There are lots of instances like that, and it's like, it's really important to research. That's why, like, it helps to know what kind of VTuber you are, because then it can help you like pinpoint like, oh, how much am I realistically going to spend for my content? Because if I'm a hobbyist, I don't need to spend as much frequently, but if I'm doing VTubing as a career, I probably have to invest a lot more money into it. So it's like, okay, that makes it even more extremely important to find artists that I will get along with, that I can trust. Hobbyists, you can kind of take a little gamble here and there, but not recommended. You just have to really like see their work ethic. And also sometimes it's vibes too. Oh man, I noticed that my nose is congested again. It happens a lot when I talk too much. Thank you, Twitch, for hitting me with a Fortnite ad. Rip. Oh! Wait. I think it's here. Oh my gosh. Who is this? Oh, they're so freaking cute. New spirit. It's the boba pole. Boba poles are extremely social, usually gathering in clusters and communicate with each other through an empathetic connection. Extra squishy to the touch, boba poles need constant moisture to retain their round shape. Moreover, they seem to thrive on high energy levels. They are known to splash and play in desk-side drinking cups in an effort to raise the morale of others, such as when they sense someone needs an afternoon boost to get a second wind towards their work. They're so cute. Why do they have a Fortnite map? Oh wait, it's an ad for Fortnite World made by Shell. Like, the gas? gas station. What do they have? A Fortnite map. Ah, who has that much investment in Shell? What's the overlap between Shell, gas station, and Fortnite? The cars? I think when I see something like that, it's mainly to maintain brand recognition and the power of nostalgia. So if a brand is very nostalgic, people are more likely to have loyalty towards it. So if they see Shell in Fortnite, which is something a lot of kids have grown up with, they'd be like, oh, I know this gas station. It's in Fortnite. And like when they grew up later, they'd be like, oh, it's just like in Fortnite. I have my own car. I'm gonna go to Shell. So there's some little weird things sometimes, so yeah. And yeah, we finally found Bobo Pole. Very cute. Oh, level 16. Let's go. And also, who's that creature? How do I get this one? What's that smell in the afternoon breeze? Almost like a candle burning? Candle burning afternoon breeze. So... candle. No. Who has candles? Full view. Dusk. Browsing. Knitting. Reading, knitting. What has a candle? Not on a bed. Fireplace? Maybe it's in sounds? Tasty sizzling. I need to look at the spirit decks more. Afternoon breeze. Almost like a candle burning. Candle. No, it's not that one. Yeah, I want to figure this out. Oh, it's afternoon. Oh, okay, that works. Okay, so this could work. Cool. Let's see here. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about for VTuber branding in particular? I feel like I just went on a bunch of tangents. And I might make something more comprehensive as a video if that would be helpful, just so that it's just easier to like track it and stuff. But other than that, I feel like as long as you know what your core character concept is, that helps a lot. And then figuring out the design that connects back to the character concept, and then seeing how your personality fits into the character concept and see how it reinforces that. Honestly, I'm of the proponent of, hey, you don't really need to change yourself to be a VTuber, because down the line, you're going to let loose, and letting loose will actually be a lot more beneficial to you compared to like forcing yourself to be a certain character. Like for me, I'm actually, for the most part, I am myself naturally. Except I feel like I don't show a lot of myself IRL, if that makes sense. So like I'm mainly relaxed as a VTuber. When I'm doing anything else, I am a lot less relaxed. So yeah. Let me see here. And yes, talking about content topics, like do these topics relate to your core character concept? Like, would it make sense to somebody? Like, oh, the game AI is talking about video games and how to make video games. That makes sense. Oh, the X Final Boss game AI is learning about humanity, because the next final boss isn't necessarily human and wants to learn, and probably wants to learn about humans to combat them, for example. To be fair, the biggest part of being a content creator is one's personality. Yeah, that's why I personally feel like my strength... Well, oh, hi Mona Lisa, welcome on in. Hello. Yeah, I'm working on VTuber branding, just chatting about it. But personality, huh? To be honest though, I feel like my personality is not the strongest one out there. It's more calm, so focusing on ASMR content would actually be quite beneficial for me. But honestly, like, I don't really know what to do for ASMR. Guess what? What? What's up? And I might be... Oh, my personality definitely needs some work, both IRL and on stream. I feel that. I'm pretty much void of it. I don't think so. It's more like... when I met you at Offkai, you're more of a calm, reserved person to me. And I think that's completely okay. I think what helps is to show more of your interest in things and being comfortable sharing that with people. Because I realize that I'm of the same boat as well, where I'm just like more reserved sometimes. But I become more alive when I share the things that I love, share the things that I'm interested in, and that helps my personality glow more. So like the fact that I could talk about the anime I watched and really liking it, talking about the RPG Maker games that made me really happy. Those I feel like make my personality become more alive. Yeah, of course, Lane. You were really sweet. And what did you get, Mona Lisa? Is it Corona Extra, as your name states? Let's see. However, the problem... Oh, because you hate anime. Oh, I'm sorry for you then, because I love anime. Biggest example of this is the Team Fortress 2 turn. It's pretty easy to become decently sized and get a good amount of views for making quality Team Fortress 2 content due to the small amount of creators who also have a dedicated fan base that will go ham for content. However, the problem with it is the people watching are more so coming for the game over the individual making the content. Yeah, exactly. And the direction I want to go with my content is I want people to be watching my content for me, not necessarily for like the game I played, which is honestly why I don't really plan to play as many video games, because I want to focus on making things and writing things and having fun with it and like doing a lot of like little projects here and there. Cause like gaming is fun and all, but at the same time, like that's my full-time job, seeing video games all the time. So streams need to be a place where I can take a break from gaming. And I love, don't get me wrong though, I love video games, but when you're in the game dev industry for so long and you see video games like 40 hours a week, you feel like you kind of like, you don't see it as your hobby anymore, something you do for fun. You see it as something that's like, oh, it's always there no matter what. And it's like, it can be a little frustrating because you just want to live, you just want to exist, but you also need to separate your identity from work. And I am not just my work. Many such YouTubers in the space have got tired of playing and only making Team Fortress 2 stuff, and then lose almost all their views once they make something. Exactly, yeah. That's why like starting from the beginning to really know like what content you want to make and know for sure based on who you are that you will continue this helps a lot. Like a lot of this branding, this VTuber branding I'm doing is also connected with like making content in general. And it's like, I want to make sure that the way I make content is sustainable for me and that I am not basically like trying to force myself to be something that I'm not. Like honestly, if I do go back to gaming, I would probably be playing Mabinogi, because Mabinogi for me is an MMO that I've grown up with and I have really loved so much that I feel like if I ever went back to it for streaming, I don't think I would have a hard time, because I know I genuinely love Mabinogi, and that also works with RPG Maker games, that I genuinely love RPG Maker games and visual novels and stuff like that. Oh, sorry, I stepped on something. It was bumpy. And it's like, I feel like being a VTuber, being a content creator means being yourself, but also being able to communicate who you are in a way that is like clear and cohesive and not overly complicated. The biggest example of this is Star_, I think his name was. YouTube journey is like the polar opposite of Germa's. Oh man. That's shocking. Like the complete opposite of Germa? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I enjoy RPG Maker games for some reason too. They're just kind of cute and allows a lot of people to just construct stories easier. Who otherwise would. Yeah, exactly. Like, I like the accessibility of RPG Maker. I wanted to make an RPG Maker game. Thing is, though, I got really busy because I was very much a studious person and I wanted to study. So I was like, I won't be playing game as much, but I will watch people who play games. Like, I watched a lot of Let's Plays when I was younger. Specifically, Let's Plays where people are not speaking. And I just have that in the background. So I would watch, oh, wait, I can't say that game. That game was a little bit inappropriate. One game is Disgaea 3. I really love that one. And Disgaea 3 was like one of my, it introduced me to the whole Disgaea franchise and it introduced me to like comedy a lot. And I loved how much it made me laugh. And I was like, man, this is awesome. Yeah, it's pretty fun stuff. I do want to, like, honestly, another thing I would do that's gaming related is be like showcasing indie games out there and like showing out that, hey, this game demo is currently out. Go ahead and check it out sometime. If you want, wishlist it on Steam. I really want to do that too and like help promote little indie games because I love indie games. They were like one of the easiest ways for me to play video games when I couldn't afford many of them. So that's something I want to do too. But yeah, basically, now that I have these ideas, I know like what kind of content I can make and connect back to this. If I can connect back to this, then I feel like it'd be easy for my audience to remember who I am. And I mainly focus on memory retention because, to be honest, not a lot of people have much attention span these days, so I try to keep it as succinct as possible. So yeah, that's how I mainly think of it, but I feel like if I wanted to talk about VTuber branding a lot more, I will probably make a video on this. Probably, because I feel like this is not discussed as much. Honestly, my favorite game growing up was Yokai Watch 2. I 100%. Yeah, I remember you telling me. And it's a really cute game. I remember playing it on the DS for y'all, but not gonna play on the DS for a while. Oh, well, that and Mario Brothers. Ah, nice, nice. Mario is a definite classic. Did you know that the Mario Brothers franchise, it was supposed, so when Nintendo was trying to make the Mario Brothers games, and I got this info from a video essay actually, but the Mario Brothers franchise was actually made because the company, okay, let me restart. So the Mario Brothers game came out because the previous company that Nintendo was working with, they did not want to make a video game anymore. So they had to figure out what can they do to retain this game because they put so much work into it and like rebrand it basically. So they made the Plumbers, the Mario Brothers. And before that, it was supposed to be Popeye, the Sailor. And Princess Peach was supposed to be Olive Oil. Stuff like that. And Bowser was supposed to be that other sailor guy, the villain. So that's why they all have very similar body types. But because that company did not want to work with Nintendo anymore, they had to like rebrand everything. They probably just kept the same sprite shapes, but edited within the silhouette of the sprites. And it went from there. And now it's its own franchise, which is amazing. And it's kind of cool that when you are developing your creations and stuff, you can pivot. And what I mean by pivot, you can change things as you go on. Things do not have to be the same. So for me, even though I'm like, I know myself, it won't change too much. I can easily like deviate a little bit into a different direction if I feel like it's comfortable for me and my audience. If it's not comfortable for me, I'm not going to do it, of course. But if people really enjoy like my singing, maybe I'll be doing more singing stuff, and maybe I would have an alternate outfit where I'm like, oh, Nethyr Lloyd, like referencing Vocaloid, because I do love Vocaloid, and I could have an alternate AI form where I'm a synth AI, where I'm a vocal synthesizer, and I think that'd be a really funny concept because Vocaloid, Yrinth are very much, and Vtubers are kind of like a circle now. So I'm like, that could be a direction I go with. And I could reference like classic Vocaloid stuff. And that's one of the things I could do to pivot if I somehow become more successful at making music covers and stuff. Let me see. The sprite shapes were the same. They just kept the shape and changed the color. Exactly, yeah! It's very interesting when you look at games history like that. Oh. I want this little creature to appear. It's not appearing. Well, I think we did a decent job at least establishing the base VTuber branding and just going from there. So I'm gonna go check this. There we go. And I'm gonna wait for the creature. The creature is not popping up for some reason. I think in the meantime, as we're waiting for that creature, let's figure out who we should raid for the evening. If there are any suggestions in the chat, let me know, okay? Let's see here. 18 plus, I cannot go there. There's a lot of people on, but I don't know if I want to raid them in particular. It's not for any negative reason, it's more like, because I have to keep in mind, I'm more family friendly, and some people I do follow are not as family friendly, and it's strictly for like 18 plus. So you know, gotta keep that in mind. Ooh! Have you all heard of Taijiro? I remember seeing Taijiro on social media. And like, I really like his concept. Yeah, he makes a lot of experimental interactive. Yeah, Mordecai is live again? Yeah, Mordecai can work too. And I think you recommended him last time, so, you know, let's go with Mordecai then. Mordecai is pretty cool. Let me see. Mordecai. Okay. Yeah, I really love Mordecai's vibes a lot. Like, honestly, it's pretty inspirational. Let's see. Video stream manager. Let us figure out the raid. Let's go. Alright then. Let's get the raid ready. And here's the raid message for Twitch. Nethyr and the Nethyzens are raiding. Yeah, that would be a little raid message. I'm not doing anything too spiffy with it, but just something nice and simple. And let's go ahead and raid the channel, shall we? Alright then. Alright, so thank you everybody for hanging out with me. I don't think our little creature would pop out anytime soon, and I do feel a little bit tuckered out. So I just want to say thank you all for coming by and hanging out with me. If you enjoyed your time here, feel free to join our Discord. Let me go ahead and share the Discord link. Let's see here. Yeah, thank you everybody for coming and lurking. I really appreciate it. I hope it was nice and chill. Yeah, thank you for the thank you Salty for coming by. Thank you too, Lane. It was nice to see everybody. Yeah. I'll be streaming again next Monday at 8 p.m. PT. And just go from there. I think next week, I'm debating. I'm not so sure what to do for Monday, but I kind of want to do a little bit of Python learning streams or Godot. Probably leaning more towards Godot because I was doing that a while back, but it's been a while, so I think I want to continue Godot on Monday, and then next Friday, I think I will do another Spirit City stream, just something chill like this. All right, so with that, I see you all later. Feel free to join the raid, okay? Good night, Nethyzens.